Okay, in this video, we look at the how to draw up your pacing strategy. What are the factors that go behind drawing it? The first and the most important strategy is your own training level. That's obvious. I mean, if you haven't trained to run, let us say, a 2-hour half marathon, then you obviously can't run it. Okay, so it depends upon your training level. Within that training level, we try to get the best possible bang for the buck based on how our strategy evolves. Based on the training level, assuming that you have run a certain distance as part of your training in the last 1 or 2 months of your race day, there are enough tables available that will predict your finish time. Based on the VO2 max, that is your ability, your cardiovascular ability, these tables say that if you ran a 10K distance or a 15K distance in a certain time, then you can run a 21K or a 42K distance within that certain time. So these tables are available. They are quite nice. They are available. You can use them. So that is the first step in drawing up your pacing strategy. That is, what is your most probable likely finish time based on your training level. The next is to examine the course itself. How much of start time will be required in the course? Are you pacing for a gun time or a net time, which is when the gun fires, or when you cross the mat, which is net time? That is the second factor. Third factor is how much time will it take for the crowd to open up. Sometimes 1 kilometer might go and you might not be able to run that fast because there's too many people in front of you. So that is the third factor. The fourth factor is the elevation profile of the course. Are there slopes? Are there hills? Are there flyovers? These are all questions that you might want to ask yourself and study that course before you can decide your pacing strategy. Do you want to walk up the hill? Are you trained enough to run up the hill? Are you trained enough to run down the hill? These are factors that will come into play. Last very important, especially in India, is the weather of that day. And we should remember that the weather changes. Typically our races start at about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning hours when it is cooler and the city is fairly empty. And we then start running. And by the time you finish, it is about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. The weather drastically changes as the sun comes out. And the temperature when you finish is far different from the temperature when you started. So that affects your performance. We all know that if it is hot, we can't run too much. So based on all these factors, you got to decide your pacing strategy. Last factor is whether you are comfortable doing a positive split or a negative split. So what is positive and negative split? Split is half of the distance. If it is 21K half marathon, it means 10.5K. If it is full marathon 42K, it means 21 kilometers. Are you going to run the first half fast and the second half slow, which is a positive split, or are you going to run the first half slow and the second half fast, which is a negative split? So again, there can be much debate about which is better and why it is better. And based on all these factors, your pacing strategy for that day can evolve. In the next video, we will look at the pacing calculator that you have developed for you.